Pakistan's submarine threat exposed. Turkey's upgrade has turned into a disaster for Pakistan. Pakistan just spent $350 million to upgrade its submarines with Turkey's help. But instead of becoming quieter and deadlier, these submarines are now making more noise underwater, almost like a loudspeaker giving away their position to the Indian Navy. The noise level has gone up by 10 to 15 decibels, which is a huge problem. It means Pakistan's most dangerous weapon has basically turned into an easy target. So how did a simple upgrade go so wrong? Are Pakistan's submarines still safe? Can India now track Pakistan's subs more easily than ever? And what does this mean for the nuclear missiles hidden under the Arabian Sea? Let me break this down for you in the simplest way possible. Back in 2016, Pakistan had three French-designed Agosta 90B submarines. Serious machines, the kind that can launch nuclear missiles and then disappear into the ocean. But they were getting old, so Pakistan needed to upgrade them. Now here is where it gets interesting. They had two options: go back to France, the original makers, or trust Turkey's defense company STM to handle it. Upgrading a submarine is not like fixing a car. It's a super complex process where every part, from radar and sonar to propellers and engines, has to be perfectly in sync. Even a tiny mismatch can make the whole submarine louder and easier to detect underwater. France already knew every nut and bolt of these subs because they built them. But France's price tag was high, and relations with Pakistan were already cold after years of sanctions and political issues. Turkey, on the other hand, came with a cheaper offer and promises of friendship. So, Turkey's STM, which had never modernized a submarine for another country before, got the contract. This was their first big submarine export project, so there was a lot riding on it. And as it turned out, everything went wrong. Let me tell you what they were supposed to fix. The plan was to replace the sonar suite, the part that lets the submarine hear what is happening underwater. They were upgrading the periscope, the radar, the electronic warfare systems, and most importantly, the command and control systems. Turkish companies Havelsan and Aselsan jumped in with their indigenous technology. They installed the SIDA integrated submarine command control system, the CASIF geographic information system, and new electronic warfare gear. Sounds impressive on paper, right? The project was valued at $350 million and was supposed to wrap up in under 6 years. The first submarine, PNS Hamza, was delivered in 2020. The second one, PNS Khalid, in 2023. The third, PNS Saad, is still sitting in the dock, waiting for its turn. But here is the kicker. Something went horribly wrong during these upgrades. Imagine you are hiding in a dark room, and the only way someone can find you is by the sound you make. A submarine's job is exactly that, to stay silent underwater. The quieter it is, the harder it is for enemy ships or aircraft to detect it. That's called having a low acoustic signature. Modern submarines are built to operate below 110 decibels. To give you perspective, that's quieter than a rock concert, but still detectable if you're not careful. Japan's Soryu class and France's Scorpion class are whisper-quiet machines. Pakistan's Agosta 90Bs was supposed to be in that league too. But after Turkey's modernization, reports in 2025 revealed that the noise levels shot up by 10 to 15 decibels. Now, 10 to 15 decibels might not sound like much, but underwater, it's huge. Every 3 decibel increase doubles the sound energy. That means these submarines did not just get a little louder. They became almost 8 times easier to detect. In simple words, they went from silent hunters to noisy targets. So what caused this noise increase? There were 3 major problems. First, propeller cavitation. When a propeller spins underwater, it creates tiny bubbles. If those bubbles collapse, they make noise, a lot of noise. This happens when the propeller design or installation is not perfect. Second, the hull mounts were misaligned. When you retrofit new systems onto an old submarine, everything has to fit precisely. If the mounting points are even slightly off, the hull vibrates more. And that vibration travels through the water. Imagine installing a washing machine that's off balance. It shakes the whole room. That's exactly what happened here. Third, auxiliary machinery vibration. Turkey used non-original components to replace some systems. These parts were not perfectly compatible with the French design, so they created extra mechanical noise. All of this added up to one thing: a submarine that's now much easier to detect. And let me tell you why this is a catastrophe for Pakistan. A submarine's detection radius is everything. If you are 5 decibels quieter, you can sneak several kilometers closer to your target. But if you are 10 to 15 decibels louder, the enemy can hear you from much farther away. India's anti-submarine sensors can now pick up these Agosta 90Bs from a far greater distance. That extra noise gives India precious minutes, sometimes even hours, to prepare a response. And in submarine warfare, that's a death sentence. But wait, the problems did not stop at noise. The entire modernization project has been plagued by delays. Remember, it was supposed to take 6 years, starting in 2016. It's now late 2025, and the third submarine is still under refit. Why? Because of supply chain disruptions, component shortages from Western vendors, and sanctions. Yes, sanctions. Turkey bought the S-400 missile defense system from Russia, and that made the US very unhappy. Since 2020, US export restrictions on Turkish defense goods have been in place. This hit the Agosta project because many high-grade electronic components, sonar parts, actuators, sensors, come from Europe and are subject to export controls. Turkey had to find domestic substitutes, and that caused massive delays. It's the same reason Turkey could not sell 80 AK helicopters to Pakistan. Western sanctions are choking Turkey's defense exports, and Pakistan is paying the price. Let's talk numbers. As of October 2025, Pakistan has 3 Agosta 90B submarines. Out of these, only 2, PNS Khalid and PNS Hamza, are operational. The third, PNS Saad, is still in dock. Pakistan's older Agosta 70 class boats have been decommissioned. So right now, Pakistan's entire operational submarine fleet is just 2 modern subs and maybe a couple of old ones limping along. Now compare that to India. India has 12 P-8I Poseidon maritime patrol aircraft, multiple Kamorta-class ASW corvettes, Kalvari-class submarines, and seabed sensor chains across the Lakshadweep and Andaman Islands. Let me paint you a picture. India's P-8I Poseidon aircraft are flying sensor platforms. They carry multi-static sonar that can detect submarines from over 150 nautical miles away. They can drop sonobuoys, floating listening devices that create an underwater sensor net. When a submarine makes noise, those sonobuoys pick it up and relay the data instantly. With Pakistan's Agostas now 10 to 15 decibels louder, India's detection cycle has shortened by almost 30%. That means India can find these subs faster and track them longer. The P-8I can then coordinate with surface ships or India's own Kalvari-class subs to box in the target. It's a hunter-killer scenario. And Pakistan's subs are the prey. Here's where it gets even more serious. Pakistan has a submarine-launched cruise missile called the Babur 3, a nuclear-capable missile. The whole point of putting nukes on a submarine is survivability. If your land-based missiles are destroyed in a first strike, your submarines can still retaliate. That's called a second strike capability, the backbone of nuclear deterrence. But guess what? The Babur 3 depends entirely on the Agosta 90Bs staying hidden. If these subs are noisy and detectable, they can be tracked and neutralized before they ever get a chance to fire. That means Pakistan's sea-based nuclear deterrent, its last line of defense, is now compromised. This isn't just a tactical problem. This is a strategic nightmare. And it's not like help is coming anytime soon. Pakistan has ordered 8 Hangor-class submarines from China, based on the Type 039B. 4 are being built in Wuhan and 4 in Karachi. But the Hangor-class program is 18 to 24 months behind schedule. Production constraints in China and pandemic disruptions have pushed everything back. So Pakistan is stuck in a capability gap. The old Agostas are noisy and unreliable. The new Hangors are delayed. That leaves practically nothing. Some analysts say Pakistan won't fully restore its undersea deterrence until 2030. That's 5 years away. 5 long years where India has free rein in the Arabian Sea. Now, let's talk money. Pakistan is in a serious economic crisis. Foreign exchange reserves are low, inflation is high, IMF conditions are tough. In this environment, spending hundreds of millions on submarine upgrades is tough. The Agosta project has already been hit by delayed payments. STM and its Turkish subcontractors have faced cash flow issues because Pakistan could not pay on time. They've had to cut corners, settle for cheaper sensors, and compromise on quality. And in submarine warfare, quality is everything. So, where does this leave Pakistan today? Right now, Pakistan has two barely operational Agosta 90Ds, louder than they should be. A third still under refit. New Hangor class subs delayed till late 2020s. And a compromised sea-based nuclear deterrent. Meanwhile, India's underwater surveillance network is stronger than ever and expanding fast. Pakistan is stuck in a strategic hole, and climbing out will take time, money, and a lot of luck. The modernization that was supposed to secure Pakistan's underwater dominance has instead created a window of vulnerability, one that India is fully prepared to exploit. So here is my question for you. Do you think Pakistan can recover from this submarine disaster? Or has India already won the underwater battle in the Arabian Sea? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And if this video gave you new insights, don't forget to subscribe. It really motivates me to create even more for you. Jai Hind.